Let's get going. I mean, you guys don't have drinks open either. So. I'm looking forward to that picking up on the mic.
I'm more worried about it going into the mic.
I'm looking forward to like recording this for half an hour and then realising the audio is just unusable.
I'll tell you, these mics cost a lot of money. But what are we here to talk about today? Nearby Lucas.
So we're going to be ranking MCU movies, but none of us know how.
Yes, I think we've all got our own criteria.
I hope we do.
Yeah, we do. So, Lucas, if you'd like to start, actually, maybe we should introduce maybe people. This is Lucas, this is Brad, I'm Karl. Hi.
You should be all familiar with us by now, I would hope.
Yes.
But my criteria...
Okay, let's go.
So, I would say ranking the Marvel movies by how distinct they have made themselves from the comics. And
ooh, okay.
I will say up front, none of us are comic experts here. It's not like we can speak for like everything, but how different they feel from their comic counterparts.
Yeah, which one feels the most like it's a distinct
entity
of its
within
own.
the MCU.
Yeah, it's not a movie based on a comic. It's taken the source material and made it its own.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Iron Man 3's got to be up there.
Yes, Iron Man.
What with not having Iron Man in it?
It's got very little Iron Man. He's struggling with PTSD, not alcoholism, and the villain is not the villain.
Yeah, and it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah,
it's a Christmas movie.
To be fair, I didn't actually say whether it would be heroes or villains we were talking about. And Trevor Slattery, as much as it pissed people off that he wasn't Mandarin,
it was its own thing.
Trevor was real fucking good. Plus, he supports LFC, so give that one extra bonus point for that.
Just that bit though, of like, hello, my name is Trevor. I'm an actor.
No,
Yeah,
I'm an actor.
I'm an actor. And then they bring that back with like Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, yeah, that was
like,
such a good call.
Who's this dickhead who's been pretending to be the fucking man? Like, do you know what? That's actually an inspired answer, and I don't think there's a better answer than that. Because, actually, you know what? No, maybe Doctor Strange, in terms of the casting choices of the Ancient One.
Okay, yeah.
Picking Tilda Swinton to play the Ancient One. Yeah. Maybe that's like the top one, that because I remember there was a bit of kerfuffle about that, and it's one of those things where you kind of agree with Tilda Swinton's reasoning for why they recast the Ancient One.
Because a lot of those characters based on like Asian stereotypes, aren't they? Yeah.
And she says, "Oh yeah, okay, it was an Asian character, but it was an Asian stereotype with a Fu Manchu. That's kind of offensive." But also, then you have the other behind the scenes thing of the Ancient One's supposed to be Tibetan,
right?
And you can't have a Tibetan character in a movie you want to sell to China. And it's that thing of like, I kind of agree that Tilda Swinton's got a point of like, it's this awful racist Asian stereotype.
That 50-50 of
yeah,
but it's also Disney meddling because they want the China money.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
It's like, but also Tilda Swinton's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
She can play any role she wants. Like, she's amazing.
Could she play a tree?
Yes.
Because that was the Scarlett Johansson thing, wasn't it? Of like, well, it doesn't matter whether I'm an Asian character or not. I could be a tree.
Well, the thing is that if Tilda Swinton would have said that, I'd have been like, yeah, because it's Tilda Swinton.
So there was a lot of backlash against her being cast in Ghost of the Shell.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. What's the tree part?
Yeah, so her thing was like, well, it doesn't matter if I'm not taking away roles from Asian actors. I am just portraying whoever I want because I can be anyone as an actor. Anything up to a tree.
Yeah.
Like, well, obviously not up to a tree, but that was kind of...
I like the tree might be the her level.
That might be the end
further
point.
than the tree.
She's like, in movies with Vin Diesel, and he's a tree. So that's a fair point.
What you're saying though is that she could replace Vin Diesel in those movies.
I wouldn't mind it if Scarlett Johansson was Groot.
Yeah. Or Tilda Swinton.
Or anyone could be Groot. Like, the fact that Vin Diesel did a good job proves that anyone could act as Groot.
Wow.
So have you seen... I forget the name of the movie, but it's like a remake of an old horror movie that Tilda Swinton's in. She plays 3 different characters.
Okay.
And she plays like an old, elderly German man. And you can't tell it's Tilda Swinton until at the end where it just says playing elderly German man, Tilda Swinton.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Very good actor, yeah.
So I think she can play like anyone she wants. And it's the only when I saw like Scarlett Johansson, it's like, okay, you're not that good an actor. But when it's like Tilda Swinton, it's like, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. And like, actually, a bit of controversy around that one. Like,
yeah, and I don't really know where to side it, because on one hand, yeah, we don't want a movie with a Chinese Asian stereotype in there, but then it's like you can tell there's like some.
But like, I feel like almost the middle ground is Shang-Chi, where like the Mandarin isn't this like really bad stereotype anymore. It's just an Asian person playing that role,
Yeah.
but like not in a really horribly offensive way anymore.
So I think by your criterion, like, you know, using Brad as a jumping off point, I think Doctor Strange also like helps distinguish itself from the source material. Because like, as well, Dormammu. Dormammu looks nothing like he does in the comics, for better or worse. Like, he's not
not as cool as he was in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
He hasn't got a flaming skull for a head. He doesn't do, like, you know, he's not popping snow globes, but he is his own distinct entity. It's, like, it's a different take on the character. I don't like it very much compared to the comic incarnation, but it's its own thing. How about yourself?
Part of me is thinking, like, controversial, but maybe Spider-Man. Because Spider-Man is Homecoming Spider-Man, like, because he's so intrinsically tied to Iron Man, as much as people don't like that, that makes him very different from
that is true,
Spider-Man.
Yeah. It gives him, like, a different backstory, and therefore...
Gives him a bit of, like, a unique twist to it, this weird high-tech Spider-Man, but this high-tech Spider-Man that needs Ned because he doesn't understand how any of, like, the high-techness works, and, like, goes into insta-kill mode. It's like, no, please.
That's a good point as well, because a lot of people did have issues with that, but it does mean that movie stands out from its original source material.
Like, it's not the same old Spider-Man. It is, but it's a little bit of a twist.
Yeah, and that twist makes it, at the very least, interesting.
Yeah.
You don't have to agree with...
Again, people can be happy or not, whether, like... Because, yes, it does take away a little bit of the identity of Spider-Man himself being, like...
self-sufficient and...
Yeah, self-important character, but it does make it different from the comics.
And it makes it its own thing. And you know what, I also like to think that the casting of that movie is inspired with, like, you know, Michael Keaton Vulture. And I've told the story before, I'm going to tell it again, of I watched Spider-Man Homecoming in America in, like, a very, very lively theatre. And that moment where Michael Keaton answers the door, just a guy in the back of the scene went, "You done fucked up now, Spider-Man." And there was whooping, there was hollering, people throwing popcorn at the screen.
The thing is, like, I prefer, I will say, I prefer the quiet British experience of going to a cinema.
But that was amazing.
But, like, I went day one, like, midnight release of Spider-Man Homecoming, and you heard, like, one person go,
that was it.
That was, like, the most exaggerated reaction of Michael Keaton being revealed.
But that bit, though, of like, "Oh, you done fucked up now, Spider-Man," and just like, everyone lost their shit. And then when he just pulls the gun out and he's just like...
again, like...
let's have this conversation with the gun.
Homecoming also having a really good incarnation of Vulture that's very different from the other Vulture.
Yeah, I think a lot of the Marvel movies have done quite well with grounding a lot of the villains and the characters, but also, like, still embracing the comic book stuff of, like, we know it's a silly comic book, we're going to make the costume like Mysterio.
Yeah,
he looks like Mysterio in the comics.
He's still got a fishbowl head, like...
But they, like, you know, ground it in the technology. Admittedly, the technology of that universe is way above what we can have.
Yes.
But it's still grounded to the universe from which it originates.
But I'm so glad that we've, like, gotten a world where we can embrace a fishbowl head man.
Yes.
And not do, like, the X-Men 2002 version where it's like, you want me to wear spandex?
Yeah.
It's like, yes, I do.
Because that's what you wear in the comic books, Wolverine. Fuck!
If we're talking about ones that have deviated massively from the comic storylines, then Civil War's got to be up there as well.
Oh, yeah.
Just because how it starts is different, and then, like, the people who are involved, like, Spider-Man obviously just gets dragged in by Tony Stark.
Or any of the, like, my criteria anyway is, like, are the characters distinct from the comics?
I think they are, yeah, because...
I mean, Spider-Man, again, in that one specifically, is completely different, because in the Civil War arc in the comics, he's a huge part of that. Like,
and, like, that's not me actually asking, I'm asking for the sake of the video.
Yeah, he's also, like, very well established in those ways. This is his introduction, so it's quite deviating that. And then also as well, like, the Superhuman Registration Act makes perfect sense, like, in a way, like, in the universe of the MCU, whereas it doesn't so much in the comic books. It doesn't really make sense because, you know, the heroes are perfect, basically, because it's a comic book, it's a bit more sanitized.
It's like,
in the MCU, you nearly meteorite striked a country with another country.
That's the thing.
You need to have oversight.
Like, I don't necessarily think they need the opening where it's like Scarlet Witch blowing up that building with crossbones and stuff.
You don't need that because they've already done.
You just did Age of Ultron where you nearly, as you say, just had a meteor the size big enough to, like,
made of
annihilate the planet.
With people in it.
With people in it. The Ultron was created by the superheroes that he devised that plan.
Yeah,
like,
they didn't need... And it felt really weird to have, like, the small stakes thing of, Scarlet Witch accidentally kills, like, 30 people. It's like, Tony Stark nearly killed 500 people.
Well, nearly
annihilate
the planet, yeah.
And it kind of makes sense when he's there, like, look, we need to be reined. But I also felt super hypocritical of him, like, we need to be reined in. It's like, no, you need to be reined in. So, what realistically is Captain America going to do if he, like, messes up? Like, with the thing with Scarlet Witch, like, 20, 30 people die.
Well, at that time.
At that time, yeah. But when Tony Stark fucked up all life on planet Earth, so there's a hierarchy of shit going wrong.
There is, but yeah, like, you can kind of see the argument of, like, where Scarlet Witch, for example, ends up, where they go more down, like, the unstoppable comic book roots of the Scarlet Witch.
Like, multiversal threat.
And it's like, you know, you get the Doctor Strange multiverse of madness moment of, like, you want to stop me? Like, the Scarlet Witch is on her way.
Yeah.
You ain't got shit against the Scarlet Witch.
She's going to kill the entire Illuminati. But, you know, that's a good criteria. I like that. So, in that sense, then, I guess, what would be the worst one? Like, which one sticks most, like, doggedly to the comics? So I think the MCU movies tend to, like, you know, they make their own thing. Like, if we were just talking about comic book movies in general, we could just say, like, every Batman movie.
Maybe Avengers?
Is there an Avengers comic book storyline that's the same?
No. I just more mean the characters, not the storyline.
Yeah, like, they do feel like pretty stock in those. Like, there's not much personality.
What about Guardians of the Galaxy in that case? Because they were all... Like, I don't know much about the comics, but aren't they all just the characters they are in the comics in the first one?
There's some difference.
That's where I wouldn't have enough knowledge about the comics to know.
Like, Drax is very different.
Because, like, Guardians was rebooted in, 04, and it was a very different thing beforehand, and I don't know too much. Enough to say, like, a lot of these characters we've got movies and TV shows about that were very faithful to comic where I grew up knowing them, but, like, I wouldn't be able to necessarily say about Guardians.
But Captain America, like, Steve Rogers seems like he's exactly the same.
Yeah, to be fair, like, Captain America is probably like the one that sticks closest to his origins.
Because he does have, his character is very strictly defined in the first place.
Yeah.
He's, you know, the perfect soldier, all-American, but obviously wants the best for everyone.
And they even have, like, you know, comic panels, stuff that's lifted straight from the comic, punching out Hitler. And it's like, you know, that famous comic panel of him, like, punching out Hitler in the 1940s.
Yeah, Captain America definitely did. Like, I feel as though the lineage of Captain America for a little while did very strictly stick to him. Like, Captain America, Avengers, like, even, like, Winter Soldier, Age of Ultron, like, Captain America is quite Captain America in all of those.
Until you start to get to, like, Civil War and, like, Winter Soldier, it's like, you know, they have that darker edge to him when it's like, it's the idea of, like, you know, this super idealized version of Captain America versus America.
The reason I kind of say Avengers was, like, Captain America is very Captain America. You know, like, Iron Man,
he's drunk. Yeah,
Iron Man's like having a drink and smarming off and saving the day. Hulk is very much just like a monster that's a problem. Black Widow and Hawkeye are kind of just like agents that don't have powers compared to them and do their best.
I guess Thor's at his most serious in Avengers as well.
Yeah, when it was like all Shakespeare and stuff before he became basically just Chris Hemsworth's own.
And I feel like almost as if Avengers kind of did that so that for anyone watching Avengers on its own rather than watching the 5 prior movies, like everyone kind of is that
cookie cutter
relatable version of themselves. Yeah.
Well, we've got these cookie cutter personalities for these characters, and they developed, like, you know, in the movies, like.
And again, like, you know, Phase 1 stuck relatively closely in general to what the movies, what the comics did.
It changed what it needed to change, but at the same time, you know, it kept what was necessary to, like, you know, get those fans and get those bums on their seats, and that's a good criteria. How about yourself, Brad? Like, what's your criteria for ranking?
I just want to say one
more. Okay.
One thing.
Yes.
Is that we've never got like a full Hulk. We've never got like a big
still mad about it.
Full-powered Hulk.
I'm still mad about the idea we've never had.
World Breaker and those levels.
Well, something I've pointed out in previous videos is there's not a single moment in the entirety of the MCU where the Hulk gets mad.
Yeah, so...
I should clarify, he gets mad under his own accord. He's always mad because it's first in Avengers, it's because it's Loki.
Yeah.
Then in, like, you know, Age of Ultron, it's because it's Wanda.
And then in Ragnarok, he's enjoying combat, but he's not angry.
Yeah, you have that. And then when you get, even in his, like, you know, original movie, it's because he's being attacked.
Yeah.
And he's been forced to transform into the Hulk because he just wants to be left alone. We don't ever get, and I think the idea that I had is, like, I thought they were going to have a moment where Bruce Banner and the Hulk talk. Because we never get to see that on screen. We just, you know, he's become Smart Hulk off screen. I wanted a moment where it's the Hulk and Banner realise they have to coexist to survive. And a moment where, like, you know, Banner lets the Hulk just be angry because he realised that, sometimes rage can be a weapon or it can be useful. If it's aimed, it should be the full arc for when Edward Norton Hulk says, well, I can't control the Hulk, but maybe I can aim it.
And then even the beginning of She-Hulk, like I've only seen episode 1, but like it seems as though they're kind of brushing off the whole like Smart Hulk idea. Like they just again,
it's just
it's off screen. It happened. Like let it be.
There's a deleted scene from Infinity War where straight after the snap, I think he's just there as the Smart Hulk, and I think Natasha asked him about it, and he just says something like, "We found a balance," and that's it.
Yeah, and it's really frustrating. I guess it's because it's such a simple character to have, but because we've never had a moment like, I think I pointed out to you, didn't I? Like, we've never had a moment where the Hulk gets angry where he's not manipulated by someone else.
They say all the time
that he's
that
angry.
He'll get angry, but it's not like the Eric Bana one where every single time something pisses him off, he gets angrier and angrier.
Yeah.
The more you hurt him, the stronger he gets as well.
Exactly.
Which has never happened. I guess that's why there's a lot of jokes about whether or not Hulk or Thor is the most powerful Avenger.
Yeah,
but
I would argue Thor is, because at least in the MCU.
MCU,
because we've never seen the MCU Hulk in any way be like the comics Hulk.
Yeah,
where he gets angrier, gets stronger.
It feels like they need an excuse.
Literally, like the comic version of Hulk is that he gets infinitely
there's
angrier, stronger, bigger, faster, harder, stronger. That is the Hulk. Yeah, he Daft Punk's it.
And we've not had that in the films yet. It's always he's manipulated by somebody else, like it's Loki, then it's the Scarlet Witch, and then...
And the only time we have seen him transform of his own accord, he just does it as if he's fully in control of his
He's
power.
like, the secret is I'm always angry.
So So he can transform at will whenever he wants. It's only if he transforms when someone else fucks him up, which is when he's dangerous. Because when he transforms of his own accord, he can control it himself.
Yeah, seemingly the Hulk is able to except for and we have it in Avengers where you see how scary he can be, but that's not the Hulk getting pissed off.
Because probably the scariest you ever saw was where he goes against the Iron Man suit that's designed to destroy
fight
Hulk.
him, but he's been manipulated by Wanda in that moment.
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
the Hulk. And I was hoping we get at some point in one of the films, when he fights Thanos, I was like, where is the fucking showdown again? During Endgame, where is it where Banner, Smart Hulk snaps and it's like, I need help, and Smart Hulk passes out and then real Hulk comes back out, Savage Hulk.
I'm really upset that the last time we ever saw angry proper Hulk was just no.
It's the last time we've seen him, isn't it? It's
Infinity War.
Oh yeah, when he gets he's
he gets Thanos literally opening scene,
beats him up,
karate chops him down, and then Hulk's like, nope, don't want to come out anymore.
And it might seem weird to say that's a character because Hulk's in all the movies after that. But in my head, they are, and in the comics, they are distinct entities, their own personality.
Smart Hulk is different from Bruce Banner. Yeah.
And I feel like the fact they had in Ragnarok, they spend the entire movie explaining the fact that not only is Hulk its own distinct entity and personality, that he's actively frustrated by the idea that no one cares. Like when you hear him saying no Hulk friend, and you have Thor have to say. And Thor realised, oh wow, you are your own thing, because I've only seen you as a mindless monster. You think I'm your friend. And he's like, you see Hulk get upset when his friend's leaving. It's like, you're the only person I know, and now you're fucking off as well. Everyone in my world hates me. And I thought you were the only person who liked me, and now you're pretending that you don't. And then we never see the Hulk again. It's kind of sad.
It is sad, and on that note, do we want to move on to what your criteria is?
Yes, Brad, what's your criteria for best and worst MCU movie?
Okay, so my criteria is, what would be the best and worst MCU movie if it was remade to be hardcore and gritty?
Okay.
Dark Knight and it all.
So if we got Zack Snyder to direct an MCU movie, which would be the Hulk.
Well, that's the question. Are we talking Nolan Dark and Edgy, or are we talking Snyder?
Well, as dark as you can, but
Snyder.
The plot and the general plot of it needs to stay the same.
So it's not a bad movie; it's just a gritty movie.
Yeah.
It'd be the Hulk one, because I think you'd have a lot more collateral damage. Like Joe, when he's fighting in New York, or he's the brownstones and Abomination. I think you would have entire neighborhoods getting collapsed.
Yeah, like that scene in Man of Steel. Yeah.
It might be Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Oh, yeah, because there's entire planets that get destroyed.
With the story.
And he also murdered all of the mums.
He murdered the mums and shit.
You know what?
And
you might have it there.
It opens up with Baby Groot dancing along to the music as they defeat the multiversal monster, and instead it'd be this dark gritty moment where
what it'd be
Baby Groot mourns over them.
That's what it'd be.
and,
Yeah.
Like, oh no, Drax got eaten, and like having like this emotional like sad piano music playing as Drax gets eaten.
And all the colour that makes those movies interesting and fun would be completely
and the
removed.
soundtrack would be awful.
No,
like,
the sound
so dour.
The soundtrack will be songs that describe the action that's happening on screen.
Zombie.
Give me that. Oh, that's a good one.
I don't want to bring us back to Iron Man 3 again, but a film where one of the characters is going through PTSD, whilst the villain is meant to be a terrorist, and all these people are blowing up and killing people.
Yeah, you have like one is the loneliest number playing as Iron Man's like walking around on his own.
But like that's one that is, again, would be quite suitable for a dark, gritty version.
I think all of them would be.
Because like Iron Man 3 is sensibly happy demon in a bottle storyline.
Yeah.
Like, obviously very different and stuff, but like the idea of like the PTSD is like, how do we find an MCU way to do like Tony being a very troubled character and stuff like that? But like, yeah, that could definitely.
I think no, Infinity War, because half the universe dies. And like, do you know?
Endgame.
And I'm saying no. If like, in Infinity War, do you know when like it's everyone getting dusted? If Zack Snyder directed that movie, that'd be an hour and a half long.
But we don't need.
That'd be every character
it doesn't
dying
necessarily
in agony.
need to be Zack Snyder.
But if he directed it, it would be an hour and a half long.
Yeah,
and there would
slow mo
dying in agony.
Every human being on Earth gets their own slow mo dusted death.
Yeah.
Everyone, just like...
So what you're saying is it'll be 4 hours long, we'll cut into chapters of different countries dusting.
It'd just be like,
4 billion people just getting dusted in slow-mo.
It'd be 4-3 and it'd be terrible.
But like, last thing is, maybe you could... Well, you could do a good or bad version of any of these. Of
That's the thing, I think all of these movies would be terrible if you made them dark and gritty, because all you need to do is like, the Spider-Man movie, like you'd have Spider-Man rather than saying like, I had people in my life I cared about and they died. It'd be a black and white flashback to Uncle Ben getting beaten to death with a crowbar.
No Way Home would be grim.
Yeah.
Oh god. Yeah.
No, because it's 5 villains dealing with the fact that they're about to die and going through like their emotional trauma. Spider-Man losing everyone he knows and loves.
Yeah.
Like, it's a dark movie anyway, is even in a light tone.
Mm-hmm. Where in the film do you reckon would be the shot of Spider-Man being Jesus?
They would have a flashback to him, like, stopping the train. But then...
Yeah, would they do, like, the Into the Spider-Verse moment of, like, well, this is what my Spider-Man did, and they show Tobey Maguire on the train.
That's what it'd be. Like, imagine as well, like, in that vein, let's say, I'll try and be positive here. Which character do you think would benefit best from having like the dark and gritty Zack Snyder-esque costume? Because we've seen like because I think Captain America, Joe, when he gets like the dark costume for Winter Soldier, that's fucking sick. Or like doing Infinity War, he's got the beard and you got
Daddy America is best Captain America.
So in that vein, what characters do you think will benefit best from having like that redesign? Do you know, that dark and gritty redesign?
Ooh. Because like I played through the Guardians of the Galaxy game.
Oh, and you get like combat
and you
Groot.
get like Metal Groot, and you get like Apocalypse Groot, and they all look a little bit too much like they take themselves seriously. But like, if you did it the right way, like Metal Groot, where he's just like a full-on, just explosive, spiky tree.
Yeah, because that leads into the question I was going to ask is, what film do you think would have been better if the main character got the Daddy Steve redesign?
Ooh.
So do you know when Captain America comes in and like every girl in the audience is like has to shut their legs?
Yeah.
Because you get Captain fucking Rogers with the beard and the dark costume. What film would be if the main character had that, the Punished look?
Punisher.
Yeah. We'll just think, do you know what you mean? You get Daddy Steve.
No, I'm saying the Punisher. I'm joking.
So if we got like the daddy version of like a character in the film, which one do you think would like most benefit from that? Because like that design was really radical. Like, people were really happy about that. Like, oh my god, Daddy Steve! How many people like fucking Daddy Steve?
Yeah.
When like that single screenshot came out.
That's a good question.
That's the thing as well. Like, which one do you think would benefit best from like that happening to the main character? Because like, I thought like maybe, like Iron Man, but I don't think Robert Downey Jr. would look very good with the beard.
I think you would, but not like better than Steve does. You know what I mean?
But the one I thought that is maybe like Captain Marvel. Just can you imagine like Captain?
The mummy look.
If Captain Marvel, do you know when she gets like the shaved head, like when she gets the short hair? If she just went straight into the fuck you, punk rock, Do you know that bit in the film where she puts on like the denim jacket and the 90s jeans? If she went straight into like super punk rock.
Again, like Gamora.
Yeah.
The same, just like they leaned into the hard like rock metal aesthetic.
Yeah, like can you imagine if we got like punk rock? Like if you go like I don't know, like the leather jacket, Trunks' jacket.
Oh yeah, the Trunks look.
The Trunks look on like Captain Marvel.
That would look good.
What about rugged Daddy T'Challa?
I think he already is. I don't know how much more Daddy T'Challa.
Just imagine thick beard.
He's already got that though.
And long
No,
hair.
but yeah, like big beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the long hair.
If you're like Winston Duke.
Yeah.
If he went into like, you just like him and Winston Duke just teamed
Like,
up.
obviously we haven't seen Black Panther 2 because it's not how Winston Duke Black Panther needs to occur.
Oh, he's so good.
Like, big
That could
daddy
work.
Black Panther, just like, yeah.
So here's what I learned recently. This is like, it might not really relate to this, but do you know that Chadwick Boseman originally auditioned to play Drax?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And there's like footage of him playing Drax.
Daddy Drax.
And you have the casting director.
Lost him.
The casting director said he was amazing, but we couldn't cast him as Drax because he played it so with this like regal confidence. Like, and then as soon as they started casting behind, like get him back in.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe I'd punish Drax. It's like Dave Bautista is a fucking handsome looking
Daddy Loki.
I was just about to say, has Loki
Daddy
ever had a
Loki.
beard?
Ooh. Do you know for the Loki TV show when he's got like the
Tom
coat and stuff
Hiddleston,
on?
Yeah.
He has like a Matrix leather coat down.
Ooh. We got Daddy Loki because that's what he's on.
Without a bad wig, please. Every time. It's such a greasy, sweaty wig.
Yeah, 'cause
Why?
I think like the worst one of this will be Spider-Man because like Tom Holland's got such a young baby face.
Well, this is the problem with him playing Nathan Drake. He's never going to look like Nathan
No, but
Drake.
he's young Drake. That's
Yeah,
different.
no, but they say he's young Drake. But how old's Tom Holland?
He's
in his 20s,
like
right?
24, 25.
So give him like 10 years to age up. He's still not going to look like.
No.
He's not going to be able to ever play an older Nathan Drake.
Well, Nathan Drake's like mid 40s, so
You know
double his
Can?
age.
Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, he's 50, so.
Nathan Fillion's just like too old to start that franchise. Yeah.
He could play old. Like John Wick. Keanu Reeves came back and did some kicking ass.
Right, I know this is off topic, this isn't it? But I saw a scene. I've not watched John Wick, but John Wick's apparently phenomenal action, right?
Yeah.
And I saw a TikTok of like a scene in John Wick where he's walking down a hallway, firing like a gun with a silencer,
Yeah, that was great. Yeah.
and missing every shot, and so
the
is
guy
someone on a
above- yeah,
balcony.
That shot
And
is
I'm
really
like,
bad.
that is one of the lamest action scenes I've ever fucking watched, and that's all I know of that movie.
The thing is though, it's
And then silencers don't silence guns. There's pedestrians everywhere.
You have to let that go.
yeah, because the fight scene before
Holy
and after
shit,
is
it looks awful.
It's-
That's all I know, and it looks horrible.
It's in context. It makes a bit more sense because it's a little bit in between other things.
Yeah.
It
And
was shit, though.
It is funny.
It's meant to be that a lot of people are hunting him down.
Also, guys, we've got 1 minute left. I like as well how you could tell our personalities from like what our questions were. Mine's like, which character do you want to be more fuckable? Which character needs to be way more fuckable? In this movie, this franchise of incredibly fuckable, attractive actors.
Everyone is, yeah. That's the thing. Like, simulator. Let's do it.
So Lucas is the nerd, I'm the miserable bastard, and you're the fuckable one.
I'm the horny one.
I think that sums us up pretty well.